What's up, everybody? This is AfroDJMac, Ableton certified trainer, and I'm really excited to show you one of the coolest devices now in Ableton Live 10, which is Echo. And Echo is this super delay machine, really kind of captures the spirit of some of those old Roland space echoes, chorus echoes, and takes it even to different levels that you can't even have with the hardware, but it's a great emulation of analog delays. And I'm finding myself just wanting to put this on everything. It's perfect for those dub delays and crazy stuff, and it's also an awesome noise generator. I'm just gonna take you through it real quick, kind of show you a little bit about it. I'm running my drums now through it. And we can control the sync rate, the time of our delays. I'm gonna mute everything else here, so we can actually just hear what this is doing to our sound. You'll hear the pitchy kind of warping, time stretching stuff happening as we switch. We can unlink these and have different times, and you'll see our display is pretty cool. It's represented here. We can click on it and play around with these different delays independently or time together. Right now we're in stereo mode. We can go to ping pong mode, and we're going to get the back and forth and the headphones left and right. This is kind of cool. You can actually play around with this independently too, or keep them synced together. And then we also get mid and side, so we can have the stuff in the middle of our headphone mix delaying differently than the stuff on our sides. And we can, again, change the different times. Maybe I'll take this out of sync now. And again, you see the display. It's really nice in the visualization. You can see the stuff in the middle right here. I'm controlling the delay, and the stuff on the sides. Whereas before, when we have ping pong, you can see how it's alternating. Each one of these little curves is supposed to be, I guess, like a reflection of sound. And stereo, we get the different sides independently. And again, we can tie these together. I love just these kind of pitchy sounds you can get right here. I mean, if we just solo this, we can have some fun making cool noises that way. More about making cool noises in a minute. I'm gonna put this back to sync. We can, again, play around with our different types of sync as well. We got an input control, which can add some more level to our input as it comes in. And you'll notice we start getting some feedback here. We can just mute this track, and you get some fun noises. Things can get out of control and crazy pretty quick. So Echo is an awesome sound design tool on its own. I mean, listen to this. This is incredible. So maybe I'll just dial that back. We're having a lot of fun, but we are really supercharging the input and using the feedback circuit here. There's a filter on our delay, so we can filter this stuff out. Again, just to show you some fun you can have. We can filter all that noise we're making. I'm still blown away by how cool this effect is. There's a reverb. So this reverb is coming on after the delay, as far as I can tell. Or you get your choice. I'm sorry. What am I talking about? You get your choice. So this is before the delay. This is after the delay. And this is, I guess, after the feedback. So if I crank this up. Some friendly advice: if you are going to do what I'm doing, keep a limiter on your master track, because otherwise you're going to blow your speakers or the roof off your house, or something crazy is going to happen. So use a limiter so you don't blow things up. We can change the amount of stereo spread, I guess you would say, with the stereo control. We can make it all mono. You'll see now on my output I'm getting a very similar thing from both sides, whereas if I turn up stereo, we're getting some differences. And this is especially apparent on ping pong, the back and forth, or the same thing. That back to its default. We got the dry wet, which I should have at 100% since I am using this as a send or return. Okay, let's see what else we got. Some fun stuff. We can modulate things. So we got this nice visualization of our LFO. And we've got a rate. Right now we're synced, but we could, of course, unsync this and have a time. We can change the phase of the different sides. So we can get this out of phase, which is kind of nice. And we can modulate our delay times. I'm going to crank this up. And essentially, we are modulating our delay times right here. It's like basically turning this knob for us. And we're getting all those squishy squeaks and things because that's what happens when you move a tape delay around. And then there's noise, which is total randomness. And we can also multiply this by 4, so we get now like some like really odd effects at these higher frequencies. And we also have a mod for the filter too. And listen to this. I'll turn this off on my delay. The filter starts getting pretty interesting. Envelope mix. You hear some of the effect that has too. We can turn this back down to something more reasonable. But we're getting these cool filter movements on our delay too, which is basically squiggling all this stuff around in here. So I'm going to bring that back down. So we just keep this kind of normal. I'll sync it. And let's go to character. We got a gate so we can control like what actually gets through to our delay here. So right now we're not hearing anything because we're not reaching the threshold, so there's no delay. But as I bring it down, only certain things will come through. So really only those snares are coming through right now. Which is pretty cool. You can determine what gets your, what gets your delay and not. We've got ducking, so we can get like a pumping effect on our delay so that the signal will kind of quiet down. So the incoming signal will quiet down the output. This might make even more sense if I take my MIDI clip here and I'll just make it twice as long so you can hear the space and the pumping. Think of this like a sidechain compressor, really. This is great for just moving the delay out of the way so the hits strike hard, and we got control of our release all the way down to 20 milliseconds, all the way up to 1.5. I'm gonna go to wobble first. This is wobbling our delay and morphing our delay. And this is, again, where this starts to become like a crazy sound design tool. I'm going to set my sends to pre so I can turn this down and we can only hear what's happening with our echo effect. So, almost like these like liquid effects start happening with wobble. If you're not happy with all that like time stretching, you could turn off repitch. But why would you want to do that? Of course, there might be a reason. And noise. Noise, which I'll actually stop the clip. Noise is just going to add noise. So this is going to emulate. You can hear it. This is emulating like the motor running on your Echo machine, your Roland Space Echo. They make a lot of noise, and it's one of the cool and one of the annoying things about them. But we can control it now. And we can also morph the character of the noise. You can hear this sounds just so awesome, I think. I'm sorry that I'm just kind of like giggling as I teach this to you a little bit, but it's just such a fun device. All these different characters of noise. You get kind of like the line noise. And as you crank these up, I mean, you can, again, we might get ourselves in a little trouble here, so I'm going to back down my output a little. But we can start using this as an effect or a sound generator itself. So I'll get like just a ton of noise, some feedback here. And now we've got a pretty cool noise generator. We can play around with our filter here to mess around with that. We can go into our modulation section. Let's modulate the filters. And you hear it going left and right. And you can start to hear things getting a little wild. And you can play around with the phase here. So they either move together or separate. I'm just going to crank the resonance here. And you can hear like crazy destruction starting to happen. And I'm not even feeding any signal to this. This is just generating it on its own with this noise control and the feedback. A little bit of reverb on there. Reverb on the feedback. So, that's just a little brief walkthrough of what you can do with Echo. Echo is one of my favorite things right now inside of Live 10. So it's a super cool device. It can be used for subtle, fun things. It can also be used to create total and complete mayhem on your tracks. I'll bring in my music here. So maybe on this little lead thing I got going here, we'll give it some echo. Great new thing to make some cool new sounds inside of Ableton Live 10. Enjoy it.